OTOMADS Cup quarterfinal, the last quarterfinal. We've seen 3 quarterfinals yesterday, with Foggy, Lin, and TH being victorious. Now, who's gonna join the 3 who will fulfill the semifinal? It's either 1-2-0 or Lucifer. Both in decent shape at the moment. Depends a little on what day it is. Like, on one day, they both are great and play extremely well. On other days, they don't really care too much, and we see a little bit of sloppiness. But this is about the money. If they drop now, they get nothing. And that's, of course, not what you want. There seems to be a join bug here. No, it's actually starting. So here are the brackets once again. As I said, Foggy defeated Focus, TH defeated Romantic, Lin defeated Lawliot. Who's gonna join them? The winner of this will be the opponent of Lin. So they won't have an easy task, but actually nobody has in this semi-final. Here are your player stats. Here are your players' tail of the tape. Old school versus new school once again, with Lucifer, of course, being the old dog in the room, and 1-2-0, and what a talent, what a performance since his rise in 2016. 2-time GCS champion he is, back-to-back winner as well. But as we said in the pregame, Lucifer was able to defeat him before in Neo Star League in an AWL a few days ago. 1-0 defeated him. Both were 3-1 results. So, what will we see here? We start off on Enchiladas.
Alright, so the question I had to ask before this game started, will we see some deviation? Will we see something new, something special? Nowadays in Undead Mirror, we see Fiend opening a lot. Because you can creep easily, you get a lot of Fiends early, you grab map control early. But here, neither of the players is looking for a Fiend opening, at least not a fast Fiend opening, because it's a Ghoul build from Lucifer. And for 1-0, we have the Ted Fiends, most likely, unless this is something very weird. So fast hero from both of them, especially the delayed Fiend build, the so-called Ted build, is very popular on Amazonia, because you can snipe the Renegades so easily. But here on AI, I've seen it very, very rarely. I wonder what his opening here is, because if you can't go for creeping early, you're gonna fall far behind. Level 2, level 3, of course, desperately needed in this matchup.
True that. So this is already rare to see a Lich opening. This is as old school as Undead Mirror gets, I guess. I mean, there was a time with the Dreadlord, but let's forget about that. Lich Ghouls is pretty strong if well executed. Of course, your goal is to Nova Surround. Your goal is to storm the base and use the corpses here at the graveyard for skeletons and then attack the acolytes. This doesn't work all the time, and in later stages, Fiends are, of course, way better. You have to transition into Fiends, otherwise you will see a lot of destroyers, so you need that web. And the DK healing is already... Wow, uses Nova super early. And the DK healing in the end is a little bit more important, I think. So using a Nova here, would you suggest that?
Well, you know, he's gonna make use of the regen, of the mana regen, and I guess he's gonna have 2 Novas anyway. So if you hold on to the mana to start with right away, you're gonna have 2 Novas. And if you use the first one right away, you should have 2 Novas very soon again. So he's moving across, and the question is here, how greedy does 1-0 want to be with the tech? If he techs on 1 Ziggurat, that's the ultra greed. If he takes on 1 Narrow Tower, that's kind of normal. And if he takes the time to get a Spirit Tower, then he's super safe before the tech. But of course, that will mean a very late tech.
It is a 2 Ziggurat tech already, because he's building the second one. And yeah, here we go into 1-2-0's base. This is maybe the strongest part of the entire strategy. Maybe with the first bigger Ghoul push. But he's not going into the base with the DK being there. First Fiend is there as well.
Yeah, he only has 3 ghouls here, so this is honestly not too dangerous. The skeletons add something as well, but with 3 defending ghouls and the Fiend, plus the Narrow Tower, this attack should be held fairly well. Let's see, use the next Nova onto the Fiend, can't really find the surround, can't find the kill. He has another Nova though, and he's going for the one on the Acolyte, kills off that one, looking for more damage onto the Fiend, but Lich is slowed, of course. Once he's slowed, he can get damaged a lot by the ghouls. Oh, nice surround on the Acolytes there between the Ziggurats. That's pretty cool. Doesn't quite work out to find the kill. But if nothing else, it at least delayed the tech for 1-0.
Exactly. You had to rebuild an Acolyte, that's 75 gold, plus a little bit of mining time. We have 10,300, like 100 gold plus the Acolyte, so around 175 gold advantage for Lucifer now. Boots on the Lich, which is of course a nice synergy with the Nova, as the Nova slows down everything. And now more ghouls are joining the fray here. No level 2 yet, he didn't kill too much, but on the other side, also no level 2, no Unholy Aura for 120. And ghouls are super fast. With Nova you can surround fiends. 120 has to be careful, but he's taking risks and takes out this null spot of his opponent quite early.
I honestly think 1-0 could have been more aggressive. He should have known that the Lich was not level 2 yet, didn't have the mana for Nova yet. And this is the most predictable camp to be taken by a Ghoul player, because it's so quickly, easily taken out, you know, with normal damage. And it gives a lot of experience, but he didn't even scout for it. Only now does the Skeleton see where the Merchant was crept, but he's too late. And now he's getting attacked in the main again. This may have to a TP here if he doesn't want to lose too many Acolytes.
Halfway through the tech. If he loses Acolytes now, that would be disastrous. It's the perfect time for Lucifer, but his Lich is quite hurt. But there's another Nova hitting a lot. Coil immediately to follow that one up. Can he get us around? No, the Frost one wears off as well, but the Fiend dies anyway. If he trades it for a Ghoul, it's super fine. Shouldn't trade it for 2 though. Nice deny by the Lich, who has still no mana for another Nova. So he retreats here, but good trade for sure. And he has to send one Acolyte from the mine again, losing more mining time.
Yeah, that would have been really nice if some split-off skeletons would have been able to take out an Acolyte, or maybe even 2. But 1-2-0 was paying attention. Acolytes survive. So, Lich not played too aggressively, despite the fact that he ran over very quickly. It's all about the Ghoul commitment. How many Ghouls do you commit, and how deep into the base? He didn't commit too much, he didn't lose too many ghouls. 2, that's totally fine for the early game, and he still has his TP. Same cannot be said for 1-0. The DK is already low. He will always have to be wary of the hero focus.
Indeed. Speaking of heroes, second hero is coming. It's the Death Knight. Tier 3 Rush. There's a huge tech advantage for Lucifer here. 1/3 of the tier 3 tech, I guess, and like, if he can force the first fight before 1-0 has the orb, that should be winnable for sure, giving him a great advantage.
Especially the frenzy timing. If you can hit the frenzy timing with your 2 heroes or 3 heroes ideally, and he doesn't have the orb yet, that's perfect. And he has already kind of laid the groundwork for that to become very, very good for him. Even more so because the TP is gone. Because oftentimes, when you see the Frenzy Ghouls approaching, he has the orb, you don't, then you're like, oh, I'm screwed, I have to leave. Coil, TP out. But he doesn't have a TP anymore. So, that means Lucifer could try to look for a very strong engagement once he has that Frenzy training. And of course, he needs level 3 Lich, but he's very close to that.
Book of the Dead for 1-2-0, who's level 3 with a DK now. Lich still a little behind, and he has to share the experience with the DK now. And he doesn't want to go to the laboratory. He's wasting a little time here. It's going for only the little one, or it's natural?
Wait.
This is weird movement by Lucifer.
He made a gargoyle. Just one for creeping the Drake, I suppose.
Yeah, and maybe like Zeppelin. You don't really play Zeppelin under that mirror.
And he's making Spirit Tower in his main? Like, what?
Is he expecting the Zeppelin drop? Because Garg and Spirit Tower certainly indicate this.
I have not seen a Zeppelin drop in Undead Mirror since that crazy game between Ghost Stop and Sweet. So, I don't know. So now the fight starts off here. The DK is really strong. He also still has the skeletons from the book that he used earlier. Coil gets used, so the Nova opens up another target, but good micro back from the Fiend will make it so that it survives. Long range Coil. Is there another Nova? Yes, there is. That should finally be the kill here for the Lich. For one of those Fiends. But how is the Lich on level 3 yet? It seems like Lucifer really neglected his creeping this game.
Yeah, he was about to start the laboratory, which would have given him level 3, but then he just didn't do it and walked around the map like a headless chicken, and therefore no progress on him at all. And the DK is close to level 4 now. And so many ghouls gone, right, from this last encounter. I don't know. Weird
Yeah,
play by Lucifer.
This build for Lucifer doesn't seem to be working out at all at the moment. When you go for this ghoul opening, you don't have to go for like many Acolyte kills, but you really want to hit a strong frenzy timing. That's the strongest point in the game for you. Unless you go ultra late and have like 80 supply, lots of guard ghouls. Then for some weird reason, they're good again. But anyways, here comes the Creepjack. Perhaps? Oh no, it's actually only the Book of the Dead Scouting, which will now be expiring. Level 3 for the Lich finally, dude. Did that take some time? So it's 35
9 minutes
supply
20.
for Lucifer against 42. That's all right, I suppose. He's not too far behind, only there, but it's more than just the numeric values. With this strat, you have to get an advantage at some point.
Yeah, and so far he has a little bit more gold, 7,080 against, like 150 gold. The harassment is coming in, but the tower's are ready. Destroyer upgrade quite equal on both. Lich was kind of low because he was tanking the natural, so good timing for Lucifer here. He does have the orb, he does have the third hero, but the orb is on 1-0 as well.
So he takes out the ghouls quickly. They are easily gotten rid of. Even Frost Armor here. He hasn't lost a Fiend so far. 3 ghouls down. Nova finishes off the Fiend finally. That was the last one though for Lucifer for a little bit. Silence coming in again, but the kiting is too strong and easily holds this attack. This frenzy ghoul timing was just way too late.
He has 2 destroyers now. There seems to be no web for 1-0. Oh, there we go. It was just a matter of time anyway. It looks like at the moment the only thing that really does damage is the Nova. But of course that goes for both sides. I mean, the Fiends do way more. Here we go again. Oh, nice coil by 1-0. Those are these clutch 1-0 coils that we were missing for quite some time now.
Yeah, and now everything's falling apart. He just lost 12 supply in 3 seconds, and that's GG.
Yeah, quite easy. I mean, the early game was a little trouble for 1-0, but that's always the case if you play against a Lich School play. But apart from that, smooth sailing.
Yeah, that really didn't seem to be too well practiced by by Lucifer, honestly. He moves across the map with the Lich first. Alright, fine. You can do that if you choose to. But only doing that with 3 ghouls, is that worth your time? Shouldn't you rather be getting level 2 quickly and then swing around with a second tag? I don't know. Maybe that is the better approach. But you certainly need to find quick level 3. And then you certainly don't need to waste your ghouls in the mid game before Frenzy. So that strat didn't quite come together. I would not be surprised if we only see Fiends from now.
I think on Echo Isles he could go for it again. We see it quite often there.
You can play it on any map, certainly, but...
Yeah, I mean, we see it a lot, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he plays it there again. But yeah, as you said, it didn't look too good. Fiend Mirror, of course, a little slower, but a better chance for Banshees in the end. And that worked out well for Lucifer. Of course, he is under pressure now, because 1-0 has the lead and only 1 map away from the semifinal. And man, that would mean we would get rematches of GCS Winter 2017 and Winter 2016.
Yeah, so cool, man. And more recently also, the rematch from... not AWL, goddammit, Dojo Super League.
Yes, exactly, Dojo Super League.
And I think 1-0 may be motivated to go into that again, because he made a few mistakes in there, so I could certainly see him... I'm in, yeah. I could certainly
I'm not.
See him... Oh.
Okay, I will use Watch then. But we can't cast in sync. That is a little bad.
That's unfortunate.
Because
Did you get the invite?
No, I didn't get an invite. You just forgot about me. That's nice, Remo.
Yeah, I always get invited by you, so I thought they always invite you and not me.
Usually they do. Maybe because I didn't went to church today.
Yeah, you don't have the blood and holiness of Christ in you, Neo. You want me to give you some holiness?
Some holiness. So we have to wait a little until the protection is wearing off from the NetEase TV client. What map is it?
Amazonia.
Amazonia. Okay, so
And
with a short rush distance, possibly a Lich map as well. I haven't seen too many mirrors on Amazonia, I guess.
There was this crazy one with Lucifer versus Happy during the Jera Cup days. So maybe, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, where Happy was 15 supply behind, had no
Oh.
business winning that game at all, but he still did because he microed like a goddamn demigod.
Yeah, it's crazy what 1-0 and Happy are capable of doing with the undead race. It's like something we've never seen before. Like, the level of undead play has never been higher.
Yeah, and I think we saw glimpses of that in the first game. The kiting from the Fiends again was so good.
Just
I know you like praising the last second coils, and it's really cool. There's also a bit of luck involved sometimes. You can't time it so perfectly, but the possibility that it works. I think that's the cool thing. How he creates that option with the perfect kiting.
I was at a big birthday party in Mainz last week, and suddenly some guy named Remo joined the WhatsApp group and the party. Unfortunately, it wasn't you. Would have been funny. There's more people called Remo? Really?
I don't know anyone but me, but apparently. I know about the one from GTA 4. In GTA 4, there's a rapper who does some music there, and he's called Remo the Rapper.
How creative. There is a band. Oh, what was it called again? Remo band. I looked them up. They are good. Remo Drive. They are pretty good. I thought about you listening to them.
Remo Drive. Yeah. Sounds good.
Nah, you won't like it, I think.
Yeah, Ardit has been sending me a lot of music recently, and every time he says, "Dude, you're gonna like this one. You're gonna like this one."
He's not giving up, huh?
So
that's admirable. But how can he not learn that, you don't like that stuff that he sends? I mean, I'm not sending you songs anymore.
Maybe someday I'll appreciate it. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, then try listen to the
You live and you age and you grow, and you
yeah, but you don't learn
more aspects.
But you don't learn about rock music. So is the game finally able to watch? Yes! Here we go. 3 minutes in. Match points for 1-0 in this semifinal. Lucifer has to come up with something that is better than the ghoul push before. There we go. Once again, Lucifer in gray as always. 1-0 in blue. And the 1-0 lead is there already. Tool. There we go. So I'm basically solo casting here, right? Since you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the stream and then
okay.
Throw in a couple of things.
So Lucifer's starting in the upper right. Yeah, sorry.
As I was saying earlier, that the fast DK build isn't really too popular. Aside from this map, on this map it's really good because of the creep route. You can get early skeleton from critter, then you can kill the troll berserker, and then if you're left alone, you can even go for the renegade wizard. That is the reason why you don't want to play fast fiends here. Otherwise, your opponent gets away with way too much for way too free without being punished. So that's the reason why you follow up that opening from your opponent should he go for it with either fast DK yourself, late fiends, or a ghoul build, but this time no ghoul build.
Indeed, we have 2 graveyards on this map so far, and we have 2 death knights, so it is, as you said, fast DK, later fiends, and then the normal spiel here. Very offensive ziggurat by 1-0 in his base. Is this for creeping? Or just against the ghoul the skeleton harass?
Yeah, can be used for that as well. Offensive ziggurats, we have seen that a lot in the past in Undead Mirror, not so much anymore. It is very viable because against other races, footies, grunts, and yeah, especially those races, it's very vulnerable. You can lose it easily, and that's going to be painful. If the undead attacks you, if he has fiends, he's not going to kill it. If he has ghouls, you're going to be happy about him killing that rather than your acolytes. So it's also a bit of a bait play. We could honestly be seeing it more against Night Elves as well nowadays, but then again, Night Elves never ever walk into the undead base, so why would you need a tower?
True that. No experience yet, but the graveyards are finishing up, and so we will see a few fiends. Question is, when will attacks happen? We have Lucifer here at 17 supply, and the same for 1-2-0. So actually, no Fiend yet. Fast tech for both. Of course, it's again the race for the orb, as that is the biggest advantage. That tier 3 thing. Is there like a certain point on this map where there should be a fight in the middle of the game? I mean, on Echo Isles, there's always the fight for the marketplace, for example. Is there something similar here?
Usually the cams are pretty much set to, you usually go to the player on their side. I guess there could be some steals for the merchant. But I wouldn't say that there must necessarily are fights that you can look out for reliably. Aside from the red camps in the super late game, you really don't want to give them over too freely. But what I would look more so towards is these renegade snipes. They're really easy to pull off just with the skeletons. Don't even need fiends for that. And if you invest the time to move across the map, you can even get both renegades. That's not the most efficient usage of XP gathering, but it certainly can be amazingly powerful for the items here. And I'm surprised that both players are not scouting more for that. Is he gonna go for the renegade? Do I have to prevent this? But from what it looks like, they may both be going to the bottom right now.
Yeah. Lucifer is taking off the troll before to get another mantle. That is already a lot of mana. Additionally for him, and later good damage for the Lich, but he's getting creep checked here. What Ensnares are flying onto 1-2-0's unit. That steal, was it a steal? Yes, it was. And so this little trapper could give Lucifer level 2, or just more skeletons, but 1-2-0 is denying that very, very well so far. Oh, this one actually doesn't get away. I mean, there's no aura. Even saving this tiny little skeleton? Oh no, I was speaking too fast. But good for 1-0 here, I think. Oh no, that end snare! What a rapid trapper here. Super unlucky for Lucifer. And he's surrounded. No way to get out. What is there? No, long range sword hit. And losing a fiend in the early, especially if you play late fiends, that hurts.
And the DK was walking away from the fiend thinking, he's surrounded, I can't save her anyways. And then the surround wasn't closed. That stings. So yeah, one fiend lost, certainly gonna be a big disadvantage as far as trading in the mid game goes. Also, he doesn't have level 2 yet, so at the moment he cannot hope to get anything from trading. And 1-2-0 realizing this is stealing the renegade from his opponent. That's usually something that never happens, but he managed to.
Bone chimes. Well, we'll play for abominations. Super nice, but we won't see any melee units in this game. Most likely, maybe an abomination later, but it's totally not worth it. Also, the DK quite low, but at least that's 200 gold. So if he gets the second one as well, it looks kind of okay for him. Lich is coming. It's almost out yet. Tier 3 tech on the way. A little faster for 1-2-0. Slaughterhouse and Lich for him as well. No Slaughterhouse for Lucifer, so tiny little advantages on 1-2-0's side.
And this is the slow undead mirror that we're used to seeing. I guess it's a little more fast-paced even with the one fiend kill and the creep camp steal. But yeah, no ghoul attacks. We're taking the long road now.
And Lucifer is going for the other merchant spot, but there was a skeleton, and 1-2-0 knows. He is super close, and he will creep jack him again. I think kind of obvious. I don't know if it's worth it to run in there blind. He wants this item so bad, and gets the rune braces. That is fantastic. It hits the Nova on Lucifer's Lich though, and Town falls out. Nice swap. Can the DK survive? It's super close, and he loses him a split second before the Town Portal taps out immediately. Oh, Lucifer, that was not your best undead mirror that I've ever seen. Clean sweep 2-0 and 1-2-0 versus Lin is our second semifinal.
Yeah, I knew this a little bit sooner than you did because the game was ending for me and I tried not to tell you. I was like, what the hell happened? How is this game over? This is a fiend mirror. What are you talking about?
But nice liar. This is a slow mid game. Not too much happening.
I mean, that's what we should expect when a game looks like this. But yeah, losing DK. I think the game wasn't over necessarily. He could have solo creeped the Lich, would have been close to level 3 pretty quickly, so that creep camps around the base. But of course, he was at a big disadvantage. So I guess he wants to grab some more smokes. Maybe he's out of smokes. That's the reason. Has to go to the 7-Eleven.
They are in a room already, so this should be Foggy versus TH now coming. The first semifinal match that we're looking forward for since yesterday, the rematch of GCS Grand Final. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. I got my invite. You got yours?
No, gimme. Alright, we have to try to pay attention to this.
Foggy, representing Europe, representing Night Elves, recently live faced TH a lot, but he wasn't able to stop him. Maybe Foggy can.